So you found this video. Chances are you want a 3DS before the eShop closes. Let's go over the consoles, a few games, and odds and ends to get you started. First off, you have to pick a console, and there's 6 to choose from. You have your original 3DS, the 3DS XL, the 2DS, the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL, and the new 2DS XL. If that wasn't confusing, let's go over it because the whole new moniker really kind of screws things up for people. Basically, anything with that little new in front of it is an improved version of the console with better battery life and a better processor. Other than that, you really can't go wrong with any model as long as it fits well in your hands and you enjoy it. If you are in the US and outside of Japan, chances are the hardest one to find is going to be that regular new 3DS. That's because we really got it only as special editions. But if you want to import it, there are plenty of good quality consoles from Japan that you can get in here. I have to put the caveat out there though that consoles are region locked. So if that bothers you, make sure you look for a good deal on a US console or the region where you want to play your games. Personally, I think the best price to performance is that new 3DS XL because you get all the features, and if you can find a good deal on one, that's one I would go with. Otherwise, my second choice is probably a new 2DS XL. You just lose out on that 3D feature. Really, there's a plentiful amount of the original 3DS out there, which I really don't think is a bad console to grab if you're looking for your first one to get. And honestly, most of the games don't require that little new moniker to play them. I think Xenoblade Chronicles is probably the only one of note, I would say, or Fire Emblem Warriors, but again, they've remastered those for Switch, so I feel like it's not a big deal. But let's talk again about Japanese systems for a sec, because if you do go online on eBay, that's a cheaper route to go. You may want to consider it if you feel comfortable modding one and changing the software on the console. There's a guide out there, plenty of tutorials online. You do need to be careful and make sure you go step by step so you don't accidentally brick the console or make it unusable. But if you're struggling to find a good deal on a US console and you don't care about collecting the physical games, a Japanese console is a good way to go. You figure out how to get the games on there. There's plenty of tutorials for that too. Also, if you're shopping for a new 3DS XL, you may notice online that some screens are brighter than others and they just look a little bit better quality. There are some new 3DS XLs that are made with IPS displays instead of the regular LCD display. Some people tend to like those better and they will pay a premium for them. If you notice a console is more expensive, double check the screens. It may be because that they have that lighter, sharper, brighter screen, and that's why someone's going to pay a premium for it. I personally don't think it's a huge deal. I think they all look pretty good, and really, if you just wanted to grab one before the eShop closes, just get what you can find, honestly. Now, if you don't care about modding your console and you really just want to buy some eShop stuff, let's go over the important details. The cutoff date is at the end of March. After the cutoff date, you cannot buy new games and you cannot re-download or download new apps. And the apps part is important because anything you purchase, so actually spent money on, you can re-download. But free stuff like the Pokemon Bank, Pokemon Transporter, and things like that, you cannot re-download. Those need to be downloaded to your console before the servers shut off. And those two apps are really important for Pokemon people out there because that's how you can get your Pokemon from the 3DS or the black and white games over to Pokemon Home for your new games and theoretically import them. So if you did not go through the trouble of making sure you track down a console ahead of time, as of right now you're kind of out of luck on finding a way to get those Pokemon over into Pokemon Home and into Sword and Shield or soon to be Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to take a break right here to remind you, I do have a challenge to get to 1,000 subscribers before Midwest Gaming Classic, so that's on March 31st, 2023. And if we do hit that 1,000 subscribers, I am going to do a free live giveaway from the show. It's probably going to be approximately $50 in value. We'll throw out more details once we get there, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about physical games. And if you like to collect for physical games, there's going to be a price spike. That's just bound to happen with the shop closure. Some of those games that were easier to acquire are going to go up now that they're not on the shop. That includes some retro titles and some 3DS games. And remember, the 3DS is a unique experience with the dual screens. We're probably never going to see this come back from Nintendo since they've moved on to the Switch and they care more about the hybrid between handheld and home console and not separating the two anymore. It's kind of a blurred line and it's all in one. So first I want to mention Atlas games, or really any game that's underproduced. Atlas tends to underproduce all of their games, and so they become rare. Low print runs, so if you find an Atlas game at a good price that you want, make sure you pick it up. So that's like Persona Q, the Shin Megami Tensei series. They have some unique titles on the 3DS that aren't available on other consoles. Pick those up sooner rather than later. Remember, we also got some good remakes on the 3DS, and I don't know about you, but I love Mega Evolutions. So your Pokemon X and Y and your Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, those are games you want to pick up. These are excellent games on the system, and they're bound to just keep going up in price. Same with Sun and Moon. They're lower right now. To pick up games on the cheap right now, I'd grab Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon if you're into that kind of thing. And even if they aren't super loved right now, I imagine they will age well because they have a unique experience, and I keep saying that in all my videos. Sun, Moon, Ultra Moon, these are unique in that they do not have gyms, and so I think it's going to be remembered fondly in the future. Also want to point out that the 3DS is home to some good remakes and remasters. Things like Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda Majora's Mask. These are redone for the 3DS system, and I don't know if we'll ever actually get a true remake or remaster on a console in the future. I feel like Nintendo's just going to start pushing that online library with the 64 games. And so if that's something you care about and you want a physical copy of the game instead of just a digital version of it, I would definitely pick these up on the system as well. Fire Emblem actually has one of the most expensive releases on the system. So to get the Ultimate Edition of the Conquest and Birthright series cartridge is probably going to set you back like $350. To get the full thing in box is way more. It's bonkers ridiculous, but this is a game that's unique where if you didn't purchase it with the cartridge to have both in one, you don't get the DLC included. So buy the DLC right now before the shop closes. Otherwise, you're going to be shelling out a lot of money later to get that cartridge. Last few games I want to point out are Yokai Watch. You can find the first one for cheap. Second one's a little more expensive. Third one's ridiculous, and the spinoffs can be expensive as well. But interesting RPG series if you want something different. Cave Story is unique and utilizes the hardware well. And so you get that nice 3D effect if that's something you enjoy. Otherwise, you could probably skip this and go for the Switch route. There's also a lot of unique Pokemon spin-offs and other Pokemon titles that you can get. And it's all around just a good quality library to collect for because Nintendo actually made a lot of decent first-party titles for this system. Lastly, make sure to check for a charger in the listing because the new systems did not come with one in box. I mean, like the new 3DS XL and the new 2DS XL, because Nintendo just thought, oh, you're probably buying one of these because you're upgrading your system, which wasn't always the case, and they sold it separate. So if you're buying one of these, just make sure you get a charger. And if you want to have like one of the cradle docks, those only work for the original 3DS system. So make sure you look at that as well if that's something you're interested in. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What system are you going to grab? If you like this video, remember to subscribe for more content and for that giveaway. If you want to watch something else, YouTube thinks you should watch one of these videos that are going to appear here somewhere. I don't know where yet, but maybe there's a video here. Maybe it's down here. Maybe you should watch one of them because YouTube thinks you're going to like them.